Um, Look, happy to be back out here. I think yesterday was a good day for us. Finally got some heat, but the guys did respond well. You got to find out different ways or figure out different ways to put adversity, and the sun is one of those things. Thought those guys pushed through. Excited to be back out here in pads, and really, look, we're close to a game now. We're less than a week away, so got to get ready to go.
Sure, I was thinking about that game. Will Drake May play in the game?
We're still having those conversations. Once again, look, maybe all the starters will play. I'm not sure at this present time. We'll see how we do today and how the guys kind of present the following, next couple of days. But, we'll have a lot of guys play.
What's going into the thinking the last 2 days to give Drake and Jacoby the vast majority of the kind of the team reps and the other guys only a couple?
We still talk about competition. And once again, I would say it's about the quality of the reps. And those guys earn your reps. And I think that's how we want to operate.
One of the things that Pop talked about the other day was that he's anticipating more attention this year because of the way he played last year. How do you go about maybe kind of preparing for that?
You talking about Pop Douglas?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So look, Pop's a great player. If he's getting double teamed, it's better for everyone else. So I'm not sure how teams kind of look at him. He's a good player, and we'll see how on a game by game basis how they respond.
What does he do on the practice field? He's getting more reps. What does Pop do for you guys offensively?
Well, first and foremost, it's just the quickness and the speed. He is a smaller guy, but he's very elusive, and just his ultimate competitive attitude, I think, really helps the offense go as far as energy is concerned.
Do you have a tentative plan yet?
You're a nice guy, man.
It's Karen.
I know, it's Karen. It is Karen.
Like, just shut up. I get that a lot.
Do you have a tentative plan yet on how you do want to attack the 3 preseason games in terms of, who plays with, when you're going to incorporate the starters and backups? And
So we'll have a coordinator meeting later on. I kind of got some of their thoughts so far. I would say, it's even difficult when you practice against, let's say, the Eagles and then play in the game as well, like how much you want those guys to play. And then really our last game is on the road, so that's a dress rehearsal for our road trip. So we're still in conversation about that. I'll probably know by the end of the day.
A couple of Judon questions for you. Was he not in lowers yesterday? It looked like he was just wearing sweatpants. Did he not have pads on?
Judon had everything on and he participated in every single drill. Team drills, individual drills. He did everything he had to do.
But you said the other day that
Sometimes when they put pants on, you can't really tell.
Yeah.
But I think the shoulder pads kind of give it away.
Well, so I was wondering if he had leg pads on.
No, we don't do uppers. We don't do uppers. Either we're full pads or we're shells.
So you said the other day that the defense will always be ahead of the offense early in camp.
I kind of spoke too soon because the offense is honestly, and I challenged the defense on that. Not to cut you off, but the offense the last couple of days, they've done well. Whether it's running the ball, the play action game, pushing the ball down the field, I think those guys are doing a good job.
I was going to ask you, what's been the difference there for them?
Well, look, they're playing with confidence right now. I'm talking about the offense. They're playing with confidence and getting more comfortable in the scheme, and the defense just has to play better, play with better fundamentals, play with better pad level, play with better just overall awareness. And I challenge those guys, and we'll see how they respond today.
Jerod, we've seen some cornerbacks kind of rotate through, and I'm just curious, the depth there. You have guys like Marco, Isaiah Bolden. How do you feel like you guys are behind Gonzo?
Well, we feel pretty good at this time, and once again, those guys have to earn a role on this team, and it's not really just defense. You want your corners to be able to play special teams as well. So the battles will continue, and even with Gonzo, he has to go out here each and every day and push it. I always tell these guys that success is rented and not owned, and the rent's due every day, and that applies to Gonzo as well.
Sorry about that.
Yep, right.
We're through this point of camp, and we've seen the interior of the offensive line pretty much stay the same with Mike at right guard.
Yeah.
I know you've talked about best 5 no matter what, but are we getting to the point where you feel like you might feel like that interior, let's go with that?
That's more of a question after the second preseason game. We'll have a better understanding of how we want that to operate.
Do you guys need to know that? Do you think, how far in advance do they need to know where they're going to be in your mind?
In my mind, after the second preseason game, it should be kind of set in stone. Not set in stone, but there'll be some smaller decisions to be made. But after the second preseason game, we'll know more.
Jerod, going back to Matt Judon for a second, I know you said the expectation is they'll always practice. Do you have an agreement with him that he'll continue to practice in pads? Because he didn't do that last year amid his contract dispute.
I expect all of our players to, if the dress is full pads, to come out here in full pads. I expect all of our players to, if the dress is shells, then to be out here in shells. And like I said, we're moving past the Judon thing. We're both in a good place. I think the team's in a good place, and we're pushing forward.
How do you view the first preseason game game. Are you going to be installing a game plan throughout the course of this week?
Honestly, I mean, it's more about who you're playing against. The first preseason game is a very basic game. It's all about fundamentals, running, tackling, all those things. That's the most important thing. We're not going to game plan against our first preseason game. We just won't do it. If they want to game plan against us, that's fine. But we need to be able to go out there and run our basic fundamental calls and run them at a high level. Oh, whoa.
See Marte Mapu observing, and I think he used Milwaukee talking. Can you just explain what he's doing and how that helps him?
Yeah, you know, he needs to know the call. And if you're not standing by a coach, sometimes you don't get the call, especially when we're not signaling. Look, Marte is a very smart individual, and he's still engaged, which I appreciate, and I think his teammates appreciate as well.
How have you seen Hawkins fitting in with that safety group with some of the injuries?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a big piece of the group. And honestly, you know, as you go throughout the preseason, he'll play a lot. There's one for you. He'll play a lot in the preseason to see what he really has to offer.
That running back behind Ramondre and Antonio, you got some guys there. What are you seeing from, like, Hasty?
Yeah. Look, Kevin Harris came in, you know, he's an off-season award winner. He's done a great job in the weight room, a great job on the football field. But once again, we'll see when we get to the games. Hasty, he has a unique skill set, a little bit different than the rest of those guys, but he's been out here making plays as well, and we'll see how it all kind of pans out.
Coach, I noticed during 2-minute drill yesterday, it was a lot of first and second year receivers out there with the group. I don't want to read too much into that, but what did that mean to have those young guys out there in a critical situation?
It was great, you know, and once again, when you talk about adversity, it was a little bit of a, let's say, a warmer day for those guys, and just to see them push through that, it was very encouraging, very encouraging. Hey, I mean, it's great, and hopefully these guys can feel the tide turning. And in saying that, you know, the expectation is the expectation, and we talk about the North Star and it's winning, but you can't win without good players. And I'm happy to have Pep here and the other players that we re-signed that were already on our team before as we continue to build forward. So his energy and toughness, all that stuff, it encompasses what I believe a good defensive player, a good defensive team needs.
Rod, it's been an eventful week for any football team. The unfortunate Christian Barmore situation, obviously. Monday's practice was what it was. Just what's it like as a first-time head coach, kind of weathering some of these things?
I mean, it was good. I mean, these things happen on every single team, and it's good to get that experience of dealing with, you know, frustrations and contract negotiations, frustrations on, you know, play time and things like that. It's part of the job, and you know, like my mom said, yeah, you want to be a head coach, huh? Yeah, I do. But once again, look, it's a learning experience for me, and I will continue to evolve and just try to be a better coach every day, just how I expect our players to be better players every day.
The last 2 days of practice have been pretty clean. Judon came back. Does it feel like you've weathered the storm a little bit?
Yeah, but once again, every day, you know, I had a conversation with Mike Tomlin at the ownership meetings. He was like, every day is different, and that's what it is. So just got to be ready to adjust. And I talk about mental agility all the time. You have to be able to change on the fly. You know, the opposite is rigidity, which I don't think I'm a rigid person, and willing to learn from other people.
Coach, yesterday Calvin Anderson looked like he might have.
Sorry.
Yesterday Calvin Anderson looked like he might have gotten banged up, and not only did he come back to practice, but we saw him getting some reps out there, which looked like the top unit. What was going on there from your perspective? Not only see him get back out there, but also kind of bump up.
Yeah, there's nothing more important than availability, and there's nothing more important than being out on the practice field. And you know, hat off to that guy for getting back out there. Obviously, it wasn't a serious thing, and once again, he's out there competing for a job.
Jerod, how, if at all?
You said last question, but I'm gonna give you one because I've known you for a long time. Yeah, it's all good.
How, if at all, has what you've seen in the last 8 practices informed what you'll do with your practice plans for the next 3 leading up to the bout? Are you changing anything based on what you've seen from the team?
Well, now, you know, when you start to put games in there, you got to, you know, kind of approach a day or two out as a game week. And like I said, it's a dress rehearsal for us. It's a dress rehearsal, you know, during the game for all the coaches as well, who's on their headsets and things like that. So, you know, we'll still be out here competing to be on the New England Patriots roster and saying that we have to start getting ready for opponents. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys.